Hello, my impatients. How are you all doing? So, the truth is, they really did scare me about HIV. The truth is, they really did pharmacologically abuse me with HIV PrEP. The truth is, they had premeditated and nefarious intentions to do that to me. Correct? And behind it all was my stepfather, and I guess mother. Is that really the truth? You know, is the truth they betrayed me, basically. I was betrayed by basically everybody in my life. Is that really the truth? Nobody has confirmed this. Nobody has corroborated this. I'm just coming to feelings of conviction about what I suspect. But I don't know why I just feel like there's a nefarious hidden reality with my mother and stepfather. It's just I feel like they're fucking lying to me. Miles says it's delusions. I'm afraid. I hope you're right, Miles. Um, because to think I was betrayed by, like some of the only friend, like really the only friends I was having at the time and genuinely trusted, and to think I was betrayed by them would be devastating. Um, that'd be very devastating. To think my stepfather, like after years of no friendships, to think he used somebody to, the first person I was getting close to betray me, for revenge for 20 to 25 years ago. To think he would do that, it would just be devastating. But I guess it's a delusion. I guess it's a delusion. Miles says your mind is making up details. I guess you're right. I guess you're right. Mm. I mean, obviously, what I'm looking for is communication. What I'm looking for is honesty. What I'm looking for is transparency. But maybe they are being honest and transparent. Maybe it's just delusions. This is precisely the reason I gave my mother and stepfather like the nastiest, angriest stare when I was at the supermarket today. Um, I was looking at them like, you've betrayed me. You've betrayed me. Now just admit it. Take accountability for it. But maybe it's delusional. Somebody says, your mom doesn't want you to hate her. It hurts your family when you hate them over things that aren't true. Delusions. I hope so. I don't know why I feel like my mother's emotions are insincere and not genuine. Like even when she cries over things, I feel like she's faking it. I feel like she's just she's just incapable of showing human emotion. Somebody says Andrew gives the nastiest look to his mother in the supermarket. 15 minutes from now, she brings him a cooked meal made from the ingredients she purchased at the supermarket. They're like, yeah. Horn Dog asks, can they take these angry stares as threats? Did you stare with a closed fist in a menacing manner? Don't let them get to you. They want this. But no, I didn't close my fist. I wasn't looking in a menacing manner, but it was definitely a dirty look I was giving them. I was giving them like the dirtiest, angriest look, you know. Chiba Chiba says, "You do this in public? No wonder people don't approach you." You know, lately the only people I've been giving these nasty stares to are my mother, father, and stepfather because I feel like they're lying, but maybe they aren't lying. You know, maybe it really is psychosis. Maybe it really is. You know. So he says, "You caught it though. Realize you're catching it. You're checking it. You're changing it." You know, I think ultimately, like everybody, I want to be loved, and I want to think there is no betrayal and there's no secret betrayal. Um, and you know, if you know, I mean, and the friends I got really close to in 2019, 2020 were very special to me. You know, they were like really some of the first real friends of my life, and I think I genuinely, you know, loved and adored them. You know, so to think they betrayed me would really hurt me to my core. You know, I hope they didn't. I hope it's delusional. You know. Somebody says, you know, the ending of a friendship, and I'm to blame for the ending of a friendship. You know, that's just life. You know, friendships end and stuff, and maybe it has to do with me being hurt over people no longer wanting to be my friend. You know, maybe that's where this comes from. Somebody says you got to keep trying to meet new people and find love in the future. Yeah, and I have been. I've been going to art classes, NAMI. Um, somebody says worrying about the past is a distraction from moving forward. I want honesty and transparency about the past, but apparently I'm getting that. And just move forward, focus on the future. You know, especially if I was betrayed by those closest to me. I want accountability, but apparently nobody has betrayed me. So, you know, keep going. I mean, I know I say, you know, like today, for example, I had NAMI bowling and I just didn't feel like going, you know. And this past Monday, I didn't feel like doing mini golf. You know, I kind of just want to hide away in my solitary fantasy land. But they say fake it until you make it. Keep interacting with society. It'll get better, you know. You know, I really want to meet a girlfriend. And we've been saying for years now, if you keep putting yourself out there, maybe there'll be a cute girl who's interested in you. But I keep going to NAMI, I keep going to art classes, I keep going everywhere, doing everything. And I just can't, there never is a cute woman out there, you know? Somebody says, there's no way for them to prove to you that they didn't betray you. Wait until your feelings have proof. Yeah, I mean, I guess if they had a heart to heart conversation with me, they sat me down and said, "Look, you know, yeah, I don't know." So this is late night, too much coffee. Well, I went to bed at 7 p.m. because I had a late night last night, and then I woke up at 11. I just got some fast food. I got some burgers and fries, and now I'm live streaming while the burgers and fries digest. My mother asked me, "Where are you going in the middle of the night?" I'm like, you know, because like not, like a new routine that I do is I get up at 3 in the morning and I get like tacos, you know, Crunch Wraps, you know, burgers, and they're like, where are you going? Somebody says, they put some slop down your throat. I mean, it's a little bit of a comfort food, yeah. So something that drives my OCD wild, and I know it really doesn't matter, but there was a video I posted and it got deleted, and now things are unorganized in terms of threes, and like I'm like, yeah, whatever. It just doesn't matter. Basically, my social media doesn't matter. It's kind of like somebody says you should try to, fight your OCD routine. You should try to upload like maybe 2 videos. And who cares if things look disorganized? In the grand scheme of things, who cares if your social media looks disorganized? You should just try to fight the OCD. Because it just doesn't matter. Oh, maybe I should try to go back to bed. I know, I think they're doing something with Nami tomorrow. Um, maybe I should just try to go back to bed. I think the problem is I get up in the middle of the night. I get in all these like weird emotional tsunamis, thinking I've been betrayed by everyone, and thinking, I've been hurt and stuff. Which I have been hurt, but thinking there was nefarious betrayal, and I just can't get back to sleep, and I doom scroll. Like basically, I go through TikTok video after TikTok video, Instagram reel after Instagram reel, and I look at all these posts as kind of proof to corroborate my suspicions. You know, I look at these like psychology videos that talk about betrayal, and you know, I'll convince myself that I've been betrayed. And these are really just ideas of reference. These are people talking about betrayal in general. It's not literally about me. It's about just people who've experienced, things like that. But I'll take it. Yeah. Somebody says I think Lamictal will help with that. Lamictal, I think, is prescribed as a mood stabilizing medication. I don't think that works on ideas of reference delusions, but it would definitely help with the mood aspect of it. The getting up in a bad mood. Um, you know, the thinking everybody is referencing me delusion. I don't think a mood stabilizing that would be more of an antipsychotic that would work with that. So he says it would help with your moods and your emotional tsunamis, though. That's true. That's true. Yeah, the mood stabilizing medications would help with your anger and your mania and your depression. I don't know if Lamictal is really the right medicine for anyway, because that's more. They say while it works tremendously as a antidepressant and anti-low medication, it doesn't really do too much in terms of mania, elevated moods. Um, you know, so it's really good for low mood stabilizing people who are suffering from bipolar depression. but it doesn't really do too much about mania, like elevated moods. So, medications that typically, I think it would be lithium and Depakote. They work better for mania. There's a Seroquel is good too. So is Seroquel an antipsychotic? Yeah, I know they always say in mental health recovery groups, don't talk about medications. Just talk to it about with your doctor. Don't talk to it about other patients. Sleeves says Seroquel does right by her. So okay, that's great. Sleeves, that's great. Yeah, I think it's time I get some rest here. I was gonna go for a late night walk, like wandering, feeling betrayed by everyone, looking all around, saying, "Why me? Why has everybody betrayed me? Why is my life a living nightmare?" But this NAMI tomorrow at 11. Uh, you know, just go to bed and get some rest. There's an event tomorrow, and it's gonna get better. Just get to best. Like they say, when it's approaching midnight, and you're having a tsunami. It always seems like my bad mental health usually comes out later in the day. Not always the case, but if it's midnight and you're thinking, should I self destruct and go for a walk around the neighborhood, or the answer is just go to bed. Just try to get some rest. Try to get some sleep. Hell, even when I'm like, oh, should I get McDonald's or Taco Bell? The answer is, well, I guess if you're hungry once in a while, but if you start making like the comfort fast food a regular occurrence, it's like maybe you're gonna start to get fat too. So I have a good day tomorrow at NAMI. Have fun at NAMI. Yeah, actually, interestingly enough, at the McDonald's drive-through, there were some crazy like kids who were like one kid ran up to the car and he stole the I don't know, milkshake from the other kid, and they were all yelling and they're like, "Oh my god, I didn't know him! I didn't know him!" And then the car comes speeding around, and then the guy comes back and he gives him the milkshake. I'm like, I don't even know what's happening here. I was afraid. They seemed like they were more interested in one another, but I was afraid that somebody was going to try to rob me or something, but that didn't end up happening. Son asks, "How am I doing? I'm doing all right." I was afraid I was going to get robbed, but it seemed like they were more interested in the women. And yes, dude, I don't even know what was happening really. It was kind of confusing. I don't know if I witnessed a milkshake robbery or what I witnessed, but it's kind of crazy. Son says, "I saw you drawing about Brooklyn. What about Brooklyn, son? I've made a lot of drawings. I don't really particularly recall that one." Son says she relates to a lot of my content. Thank you, son. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm not glad. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if anybody wants to be me, but I don't know if you relate to me, it's kind of. You might be a broke, pathetic loser too, but I'm glad I'm not alone. I guess, but if I inspire you in some way, thanks. Thank you. Oh, son says you were afraid of going to the bad parts of Brooklyn. Yeah. Um, it's all good. It's all good. So it's just lift yourself up, Andrew. Lift yourself up. Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately, stop expecting an apology because there was no betrayal, and try to rekindle some of the friendships I've lost, and try to be kinder to my parents, and I want to regain the friendships I lost, from 2019, 2020, and so on, because I really miss them, but we'll see. Maybe focus on new friendships in the present and future, and yeah, you can make new friends too. I mean, we often feel nostalgic and miss the past, but you might miss the past, they might not miss you. Somebody says rekindling friendships from half a decade ago isn't realistic. You see, I don't know why I'm optimistic the friendships are going to come back to fruition. Maybe that ship has passed. Maybe they have no. You're right, slaves. Maybe friendships from half a decade ago. I know when I was sitting in my room, solitary and alone, I used to daydream. Like back in 29, oh maybe 2018 or 2019 when I was writing the screenplay. Like, oh, a lot of these, girl ex-girlfriends who are getting married, in 2018, oh, they're going to come back, their whole wedding is a farce, they're really madly in love with me. And then you start seeing the wedding photos, and basically when you're lonely, you have no girlfriend, you have no friends, you daydream about friends from the past. But if you start meeting new friends in the present and future, you'll forget about the past. Basically, you witness the ex girlfriends, moving on with their life, and you're just like a broke, pathetic loser sitting in solitude. But if you start meeting new friends and you start experiencing new love, pretty much you'll let go of the past. Um, you know. Somebody says you're just sitting in solitude, daydreaming about, pop superstars, ex girlfriends, and all these people being madly in love with you. Look to the future. Somebody says you won't forget the past, but you'll learn from it instead of idolizing it. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I think that's kind of the biggest part. I just miss the people from the past, and you know, like you said, it's not realistic. Rekindling friendships from half a decade ago. They've moved on. I've moved on, and it's sad, but that's just it. Or maybe I haven't moved on, but they've moved on. Maybe I just sit in solitude. It was like the ex girlfriend who got married in 2018. It was like, she's obviously coming back. It's kind of like the song. What's the song? I could stay away. The Aerosmith song. I don't want to. You think they're going to come back and surprise you in a magical moment and say, "I'm madly in love with you." Meanwhile, they have a boyfriend. They're going on dates. They're living life, and then you see they get married, and it's like, oh, I guess it's all been a delusion, right? It's all been a delusion. It's all been fantasy. She was out living life while I was just sitting in solitude, daydreaming in a fantasy world, imagining people loved me who didn't. All right, but you can find new love, and I will just keep going to these events and keep getting out there. And who knows? Maybe the love of my life is yet to come, or maybe I'm meeting her presently, or maybe the best love of my life. I'm not saying is yet to come. I mean I mean, obviously, I have fondness for the people and things from the past, but it's unrealistic to expect them to come back and like the Aerosmith song. Oh, they cut like it's like the lion, Oh, the lion's coming back, and they remember me, and we all hug each other. It's like I've been watching you for the past 13 years. I'm really your soulmate. I'm back now. That's just not gonna happen. They've moved on. I just. All right, guys. I guess I'm gonna peace out here. There's to stay positive, and not metaphorically HIV positive. Stay positive in that you're gonna find a cute girlfriend. You're getting yourself really handsome. You're running. Stop eating the McDonald's, and maybe you'll meet a sexy woman. A really sexy woman in her 20s or 30s who loves you and adores you, and you're going to miss the people from the past. But then again, if you have a sexy woman in her 20s or 30s, you're going to stop. You're not going to be focused on the past so much. All right, peace out. So he says, have a good night, Andrew. Give your brain a rest. All right, peace out.